Hello, my name is Asher, and this is Asher's Movies and TV. And today we are going to be doing Movie of the Month for February 2026. This is something I started a while back last year. If you are new to the channel, you probably won't know what this is, but this is Movie of the Month, where I go through all the movies I watched this month and give you like my rating and tell you what's my favorite. And recently, last month, I added a few new features like honorable mentions, my lowest rated film, my favorite movie, my most viewed video, and also most watched genre slash universe. I've also got my now that the goal we have a goal, so I've got the progress chart to the goal. I've also got how many films I watched on DVD so far. So if you guys could do me a favor and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get notified, subscribe to the notification bell on so you get notified when I make new videos on this channel. Also go subscribe to my other channel for comic book related content. I'm going to start posting a lot more on that channel. I know I say that a lot, but I haven't really had any time to do stuff on that channel. I've had a lot of stuff with school. Hopefully this week I'll have a spare day where I can just post on that channel. I'm unsure if I'm going to have a video out tomorrow because I've got college, so I might not be able to do that, depending. I might be shattered, to be honest. So this is Movie of the Month for February 2026. I have reviewed a whopping... How many movies did I review this month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So, only 7 days in this month I did not watch a film. So, we've got 28 days in the month of February 2026. And I watched 21 films. So, for me, that is a good amount of films, I would say. It's a nice steady pace. If I can do that each month, that'd be amazing. Obviously, I have watched the first film of the month, the new month, March now, and movie of the month for this month will come out at the end of the month as well. So I think I've got this on the first watch. Yeah, I've got it from the first to the last watch of the month. So, Knives Out then was the first watch of the month, and I gave it a 4.5 stars on Letterboxd, which is equivalent to an 8.1 rating for me. So I found this film very interesting. It was a nice, good murder mystery. Although I didn't think the Glass Onion, which is also on this list, was as good as it, but I thought the Glass Onion, it had a different storyline, and the storyline just didn't suit me too well for the Glass Onion. So I'm going to be putting pictures up of these movies throughout the video, so you can see, because obviously I don't own all of them on DVD. Maybe if I've got the DVDs over there in my little bit stack over there, I'll show you them, and but if I don't, then yeah, I'll put some pictures up for you. So yeah, Knives Out was the first watch of the month. I watched this on the first of the month. And then the second watch of the month was Army of the Dead, which I gave 2.5 stars and an equivalent rating of 6.0 out of 10. Normally a 6.0 would be a 3 stars, but I just didn't think this film deserved 3 stars for me. There's like many different ways you can obviously review your films, but 2.5 stars seems fair for the cast. I just didn't enjoy the film, to be honest. It Chapter 2 then was the next. Oh no, I give Army of the Dead 5.3. Sorry, I was looking at the next rating. So yeah, really didn't enjoy that film, to be honest. That was one of the worst movies of the month, I would say. It Chapter 2 then, I also gave 2.5 stars, but I give it a 6.0 out of 10, which normally would be equivalent to a 3, but I thought it just didn't deserve a 3, to be honest. Because it was a good film. I thought it was good. I just didn't get to watch it to a full extent because I had some friends over, and I think I probably could have done a bit better if I was watching it alone, to be honest. Yeah. Halloween then was the next film I watched, which was I give a rating of 4.0 out of 10. Out of 5, sorry. 4 stars out of 5, and I give it a 7.9 out of 10. So quite a good movie for the month as well. I thought, I started watching a few horror movies, so I actually did watch quite a few horror movies this month. Yeah, I had a nice variety of movies this month, I would say. A few horrors, a few action, a few sci-fi, bit of everything really, which is good for me personally. So yeah, Halloween was the fourth watch of the month. Then I will actually review this on the same day as It Chapter 2 and Halloween. So the Thursday Murder Club then also was a really great watch of mine. I give it 3.5 out of 10, out of 5, sorry. 3.5 stars out of 5, and I give it a 6.8 out of 10. This actually was really interesting. I enjoyed the murder mystery aspect. Obviously, around this time I was getting into the murder mystery films with the Thursday Murder Club. Yeah, it was actually quite. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed the basically full British cast. Um, yeah, Send Help was the next one I watched on this list. And I actually went to watch this in theatre or in cinema, depending if you're posh or not. Yeah, I went to watch it in cinema. I give it 2.5 stars also. So 2.5 seems to be quite normal this month as well. I thought it was good, but I just didn't think it was, as good as some people said it was. And I was kind of disappointment to go and, pay money to go to cinema to watch it. But I would definitely want not go and see it in the cinema again because it was a good experience, and I didn't like there was some good jump scares in there, and I enjoyed going with my friends, to be honest. Yeah, 2.5 stars, which was an equivalent of 5.9 out of 10. This the next watch after this, which actually is really a quite highly rated movie on the list. And I really did enjoy this film, to be honest. It was a really good watch, I thought. La La Land. Normally not my type of thing, musicals or romance or rom-coms, really. They're not really normally my type of film, but this film was absolutely stunning, I will admit. The visuals were amazing, and I think the directing was amazing. And I know this person's directed a few other great films as well, so I'm actually really excited, yeah, to watch Babylon, I think was the next one. I'm going to try and watch that soon. Um, yeah, and I thought the La La Land was definitely a good film. The Electric State was my next watch then, because I'm trying to watch a few more of the uh, 2025 films, so I can put them on my 2025 ranked film thing now that they come into Netflix and Paramount and stuff like that. Um, I give this 2.5 stars out of 5 and a 5.2 rating. By far, so far the lowest on the list. Yeah, it had a good cast and it had a good story. It's just Millie Bobby Brown. Has kind of spoiled it for me. She's not that great of an actress, if I'm honest. I'm obviously not a big fan of Stranger Things. I've never really watched it, but I know she is good in some films, but she didn't just shine in this. And to be honest, Chris Pratt, even though he is one of my favorite actors, he did not shine in this either. To be honest, um, yeah. So that's the Electric State then. The R.I.P. was the next film, which was a second 2026 film watched this month. The R.I.P. actually came out January, I think. It looked really good to me on some ads and stuff, so I thought, yeah, I'll give it a watch. And I know the stars Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, such an iconic duo in Hollywood and also in films in general because they are really good together, and I do enjoy their films. So I give this 4 stars out of 5. And I know this is kind of controversial. Some people didn't like this at all. Some people thought it was crap. But this actually was quite a good film. I found the action sequences were good, and I found like the cinematography was good, and the acting was good, to be honest, which is equivalent to a 7.4 out of 10 for me. The Hurt Locker was the next one I watched, and I give this 3.5 stars and a rating of 6.5 out of 10. Another film I've been told to watch a lot by a lot of people, especially family. They've been telling me to watch it a lot, but it's never just been really my thing. War movies, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of war movies, but it actually was quite, it was quite a nice watch, and yeah, I did enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I did enjoy it. If was the next watch then. This was one of the first ones I didn't actually watch on the stream. This one was one of the first ones on the streaming service, other than La La Land and other than Electric State and the R.I.P. This was the first one watched on an a streaming service on Netflix. Actually, this was, I believe. I give it a 3.0 and a 6.4 rating. Yeah, this one directed by John. What's his name? Oh man. John Kravitz? No, sorry. This one directed by John Krasinski, starring John Krasinski as well, and also produced, written by John Krasinski. I thought it was quite a good film. Obviously, we've seen some of his films in the past on the channel. If you haven't seen the reviews for them, the Quiet Place Quiet Place Part 1 and Part 2, go and check them out on the channel. Yeah, I thought this was a decent film. I know it's had some bad ratings. Some people even going as far to give it half a star, which I don't think is fair, to be honest, because it is it's one of them films that is quite interesting, quite good to watch. But yeah. So the next thing we watched then was the next thing we watched, sorry, was Solo: A Star Wars Story, which I also give 3 stars out of 5, and I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, it was not as good as I expected, to be honest. I had the ending ruined for me by a friend, which was really annoying, and I did get kind of mad about that. But it was okay. It just wasn't as good as I thought it would be, to be honest. Yeah, and I was expecting a really good film, so obviously I was expecting a lot better than what we had, and to be honest, I didn't see, I didn't get to see what was actually so good about the film, but it just wasn't that good of a film, to be honest. But yeah, Little Miss Sunshine was the next one. Again, another film that people talk about all the time. I've heard people Letterboxd reviews, and I've seen reviews. I've seen people talk on TikTok about how good this film is. It's like one of the best comedies ever, and it's a great dark comedy. Um, yeah, I give it a 3.5 stars, and I give it a 6.7 out of 10. So it wasn't amazing to me. I just don't think that I was the right audience for this film, to be honest. I felt, it could have been. I felt to me it could have been a bit better. Obviously, starring Stephen Carell, and a few other people. This was not my type of film, if I'm honest. The dark. Well, I do like dark comedies, but not this type of dark comedy. You know what I mean? Scooby Doo Stage Fright was the next watch. Then again on DVD, I give this 4 out of 5 stars, and I give it 7.6 out of 10. You can see that massive jump in review there, in rating, because obviously Stage Fright is one of my go-to Scooby-Doo films. Personally, I've seen this probably about 15 times when I was younger, and another time now when I've reviewed it on the channel, which I'm excited that I did review it, because I couldn't remember the film, to be honest. But now I've watched it, it's just one of my favourite films ever. I'll admit that. It's such a great film, and I did really enjoy it. Glass Onion then was... Sorry. Sorry about that, I need to do yawn. Glass Onion was the next watch then. I give it a 3.5 stars and a rating of 6.7. Yeah, this definitely wasn't as good as the first film. So you can see I've dropped a whole star in rating. The cast, it was a pretty stacked cast with Madeline Klein, what's his name? Batista, what's his name? Batista. Can't remember his name, to be honest. Sorry. There was a really good amount of Edward Norton was in it, and Daniel Craig was in it as well. But I just felt like the story wasn't as good as the first film, to be honest. I think they rushed this film, to be honest. Final Stab was by far one of the worst movies of the month, with a rating of 2.0, or like 2 stars out of 5, and my rating being a 4.9 out of 10. Not another. I thought it was gonna be like a rip-off Scream movie, but it definitely wasn't. It was more of a mix of Halloween and Scream, and it just wasn't a good film, if I'm honest. It was no good story. There was no plot. It was just a killing spree, really. And it just had no story around it, to be honest. If there was a story, I think it would have been a lot better. Also, the acting and the budget of the film just didn't suit the type of film they wanted to be. And then next we have Not Another Teen Movie. So I thought this film was actually quite funny. Great cast with Chris Evans in there and a few other people. Give this rating of 3.5. 3.5 stars, and then I give it a 5.7 out of 10. I know it doesn't fit the rating, but I did enjoy the film, to be honest. Really good comedy. It's more of a coming of age story, really, but not in that type of way. Adulthood then is also a decent comedy, I would say. I give it 3 stars. I probably should have knocked that down to a 2.5, to be honest, because I didn't really enjoy the film, and I gave it 5.5 out of 10. More of a British comedy drama thing than anything else, talking about the lives of teenage British students. Evil Dead is the next one then. I also give it 3 stars. I think I might have underdone it a bit there, because I did enjoy the film, to be honest. I give it a 6.4 out of 10. It was a good film, just some of the visual effects weren't that good, and the plot was a bit lacking on some parts, and the acting also was lacking in some parts as well. Dante's Peak then, with 3.5 out of 5, sorry, and a 6.7 on the rating scale. I enjoyed it. Obviously, my dad told me to watch this one, and I've had it in the pile over there for weeks, just waiting for me to watch it. And I thought, you know what, I'm bored. Let's watch it. So I decided to put it in the DVD. I decided to put it in the PlayStation 3, and it was actually a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Really good cast with Pierce Brosnan and some other people, but it was really good. I really enjoyed the film. Yeah. And then the last film I reviewed this month, which was on the last day of the month, 28th, was Get Out, with a rating of a 4.5 out of 5. and an 8.7 out of 10. So this was a really good racial horror film. A really good, great story, great plot. I really enjoyed. There's definitely some great actors and actresses in there. Story was really good, and the acting was really good as well. So yeah, that is that little bit then. And then I've got a question for you. What is your favourite movie I watched this month? And if you want me to review any more movies going ahead in the month, make sure you comment that down below. And also tell me what movies you'd like me to see. You'd like me to watch this month. I know I've got plans to go to the cinema at least once this month to go and watch The Bride with Christian Bale in. So if you'd like to see a review for that, make sure you comment that down below, and we'll try and get to 10 likes by the end of the month on this video. So the progress towards the goal then. So we've got 32 films out of 200. That's now gone up to 33 since I didn't count Get Out in this equation. So we've got 33 films out of 200 watched, and on DVD 23 out of 31 out of 33 are watched. 32 are watched on DVD. So 23 out of 100 done. That's almost 1/4 of the way through. So if we can do that again every single month, we'll be done by the end of the year. So the movie of the month for February 2026 is Get Out, and an honourable mention to Knives Out. So the highest rated film I gave was an 8.7 with Get Out and 4.5 stars. The lowest rated film was The Final Stab with, 2 stars and a 4.9. My favourite movie of the month was Get Out and Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo Stage Fright. The most viewed video this month was Scooby-Doo Stage Fright, the movie review. And the most watched genre this month was Knives Out, the murder mystery films. So if you do want to see me review any more videos, movies on the channel, make sure you comment below. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.